Dr. Lee in class, welcome to our presentation. So I'm doing the planning section. So I wanted to begin by just talking about how Starbucks got started. So the first store was opened in Seattle in 1971. The goal of the store was to offer the world's finest roasted whole coffee beans. It was actually inspired by Herman Melville's famous novel Moby Dick. It was intended to evoke the romance of the high seas and seafaring tradition of the early coffee roasters. And it started from one shop in Seattle, and now they've expanded to over 30 retail stores serving millions of people daily. So the mission of Starbucks is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. They do this through their core values, creating a culture of warmth and belonging where everyone is welcome, acting with courage, challenging the status quo, and finding new ways to grow our company and each other, being present, connecting with transparency, dignity, and respect, and delivering our best in all we do, holding ourselves accountable for results. So their product is very diverse. They offer over 3 blends of coffee and original premium coffees in store, and they also have handcrafted beverages, which include coffee, hot and iced espresso beverages, iced coffee, cold brew, frappuccinos, and also teas. They also offer fresh food, which includes pastries, sandwiches, salads, grain bowls, yogurt, fruit cups, the like. But they also sell merchandise. So they sell tea brewing equipment, mugs, accessories, packaged goods, and they also sell their coffee that they serve in grocery stores. In the 1970s, most Americans were pretty unhappy with their coffee experience. So coffee was pretty cheap. It was poor quality. It didn't taste good. It was pretty much sold in cans in the grocery store. And by the time you got it home and made the coffee, it was stale. So in response to this, the CEOs of Starbucks decided that they needed an alternative option. And they saw this as authentic coffee that could be ground freshly at home. So that was pretty much what they were doing for the first 10 years of their existence. And then Howard Schultz joined the team in the 1980s, and he had a vision to expand Starbucks, expand the company to reach a further and broader market. So he visits Italy and he goes to Milan and he sees all these espresso bars on the corner, and he sees how the barista greets the customers who come in and how there's a personal relationship with everyone who comes into the bar, and they talk and chat over coffee. And he sees that experience and he decides, okay, that's what we need to bring to the US. According to the Porter Business Strategies, we decided as a whole that Starbucks, it has a source of competitive advantage because they're unique and because they have a broad scope of operations. So they're the Nordstrom of coffee is pretty much what we decided. Their strategy attracts a large customer base while it also offers a unique and differentiated span of products and drinks.
The next part of Starbucks that we're going to focus on is organizing. Starbucks has a big and unique organizational structure as it's such a huge company that spans across multiple countries and continents. This is a chart of Starbucks' organizational structure. As you can see, it's primarily a matrix, but also combines other structures and is then a hybrid structure. There are 4 main divisions that make up Starbucks' overall organizational structure. The first division that makes up the structure are the functional divisions. These functional divisions facilitate top-down monitoring, and they create policies, rules, and regulations that are implemented in all Starbucks stores. Second, since Starbucks is such a large company, they have geographic divisions. These break Starbucks stores up into more manageable sectors for vice presidents and presidents to organize. The United States also has regional geographic divisions. The geographic divisions each have an area senior vice president who reports to the geographic and functional head. This contributes to the matrix structure, increasing communication and flexibility for the geographic divisions to tailor the desires of their customers to the region that they're in. The third division that makes up Starbucks' organizational structure are product divisions. Starbucks is known for their high quality in all of their products, and these product divisions ensure that the quality lives up to their standards. These product divisions are also focused on creating and innovating new products for all Starbucks locations across the country and across the globe. This is where Starbucks implements their creativity, which is also one of their core values. The fourth and final division are teams. These are hierarchical aspects of Starbucks' organizational culture that you're probably most familiar with. These are made up of baristas, shift managers, and store managers. As you can see, although they're in a hierarchical fashion, there's also a lot of flexibility and opportunities for growth for baristas.
All right, so next we're going to talk about leading. Starbucks is known for having really exceptional leaders. Howard Schultz came on board in 1988, and he transformed the company from 6 stores into the coffee giant we know. As stated before, he was really inspired by those Italian coffee shops and espresso bars. He was really a true transformational leader, placing a strong emphasis on respect for his employees, which he called partners. And his goal was to make Starbucks the 3rd place that people spent the bulk of their time after home and work. Kevin Johnson is the current CEO, and he's described as a passionate servant leader. He proudly carries on Starbucks' legacy of human connection, driving the company's core strategies for growth and being of service to more than 330,000 partners who wear the green apron around the world. CNBC says that Johnson's emphasis on conscious capitalism, his care for employees, and his embracing of change are just 3 ways he continues the legacy of great leadership after Howard Schultz. He really is a textbook transformational leader like his predecessor, and his charisma really inspires the entire company. Over 80% of employees approve of Johnson as CEO. This principle of serving others is something that's shared by all of Starbucks top management. And a recent way that they really demonstrated this was through their 3-day leadership conference for 12,000 of their store managers right here in Chicago. They laid out their top initiatives for growth of Starbucks, including empowering the store managers, strengthening communities, and breaking the stigma around mental health. At Starbucks, employees working over 20 hours a week are eligible for health benefits, and Starbucks is moving to add mental health care under this umbrella of the health services. That just really shows how much that they care about their employees. So next, we're going to move into the leadership style and culture on a store level. So we actually have an interview with a Starbucks employee, Kay Hammond. In your own words, what do you think are like the core values and the mission of Starbucks?
Really a lot about like building community and like connection with customers. We try to have like as much as like customer interaction as possible and make them feel included and like they're part of the store.
How would you describe like the leadership style of your managers?
So the shift managers were pretty chill. Like they would ask you, it was like up for like whatever you wanted to do basically. And also what needed to be done. And my store manager was also very chill, flexible with people's schedules, still like authoritative.
How would you describe like the company culture?
Yeah, definitely very team oriented then. Like because you're all working together to like make it go as smoothly and as efficiently as possible, like especially in the mornings and during rushes. Like you had to be all on top of it, but also all working together and making sure like you're not double making drinks, or like the people on ovens like are getting like putting stuff in fast enough, but like you're also like not going like taking orders faster than they can like cook or make drinks. Very like team oriented and so that it would be like most efficient and but also very chill. Like I loved everyone that I worked with, even though like it's such a range of people, especially like if there's like bad customers or like customer interactions. It was really supportive because you're all just on a team, and so you're like looking out for each other.
So in terms of controlling, there's some key metrics that Starbucks uses to measure their performance. As of January 2020, Starbucks recorded an overall increase from last year, and they actually beat their earning and revenue expectations. A notable key metric of these is the rewards program numbers, because it has shown to be a very good indicator of growth in the company. Human resource key metrics, those 5 key metrics are kind of what human resources uses to measure how Starbucks is doing. Starbucks has maintained good standings on all of the metrics. And so there are 3 strategic key processes that Starbucks has committed to. which is the perfect coffee, user-friendly and engaging technology, and a satisfying experience for its customers. And so the first is sustainability and growth. And so right now, the demand for coffee in China is actually increasing, and people in China are starting to drink more coffee. In addition to that, China is actually the fastest growing market outside of the United States. But this has also increased the carbon footprint of Starbucks. The challenge is that they want to take it and take it on in a more sustainable way. So one of the things that they've planned is that they're going to be opening up a roastery in China, which is the first one outside of the United States. Another way that they're trying to improve their key processes is by utilizing technology. There's a lot of different resources that Starbucks is using to create a better customer experience. They're using it to reduce glitches and to take care of small tasks. They're also looking at ways to incorporate artificial intelligence with everything. With all of this, the employees can then focus more on providing a better experience for the customers. And then the next improvement that Starbucks is working on is ethically sourcing their coffee. As of now, 99% of their coffee is ethically produced through this program that they have called Cafe. But right now they want to try using a blockchain technology software to make supply chain completely transparent. Finally is environmental sustainability. Starbucks has challenged itself to give back more than it takes, which is a big task to take on. And so with all of that, that would require a more environmentally friendly menu and reusable packaging, and definitely more eco-friendly stores and operations.
All right, I'm going to give you a brief SWOT analysis for Starbucks. Their strengths are brand recognition. Another strength is their extensive global supply chain. They've been known to source their coffee beans from Latin America, Africa, and the Asia Pacific regions. And then a third strength is their moderate diversification. Some of their weaknesses, their high prices. This is relative to their competitors. I think one of their largest competitors is McDonald's, who offers cheaper coffee with the McCafe. So their high prices are keeping working class consumers from enjoying their products. Another weakness is their product imitability. Many different coffee shops and different food and beverage stores to sort of do it their own way with their recipes. And another weakness is their generalized product standards. People that are going to Starbucks have a high standard for what they're receiving. Thirdly, their opportunities. One opportunity is expansion in developing markets. Another opportunity is increased diversification. Its business operations to improve overall revenue and growth opportunities. It can continue to diversify into different industries, and then co-branding slash alliance potential. It's been known to be successful for large firms to co-brand with other firms. This brings us to challenges, the fourth element of the SWOT analysis. And I'm going to have Mona talk a little bit about COVID-19's effect on Starbucks.
So COVID-19 has obviously taken a big hit on the profits that Starbucks has had, and a lot of their stores have had to close down. Thankfully, they still have drive-thrus that are still operating, so there's profit coming through that. But Starbucks is actually, they went into a lot stronger than a lot of other companies, so coming out of that hit that they took to their profit will probably be easier than other companies. But in terms of opening up the stores, again, China recently has been recovering from COVID-19, and when everything kind of started, 80% of the stores completely closed, but now there are 90% of them that are running again. And they've taken a lot of safety precautions that the stores in the United States could take into consideration when they do open stores up again.
So we chose to analyze a challenge in a pre-COVID-19 world. And prior to the COVID-19 catastrophe, due to the long economic recovery from the market crash of 2008, specifically the fall of unemployment, individual states have started increasing their own minimum wages despite the federal minimum wage being $7.25. So the national average is around $12 an hour. And with that rise of the minimum wage, net income of Starbucks has fallen from $4.52 billion in 2018 to $3.6 billion in 2019. Starbucks has tried to combat that tightening of income through increased prices on their coffee products, but this brings up quite a few difficulties. One of Starbucks' greatest strengths is their customer loyalty, and this increase of prices places that in jeopardy. That brings us to our analysis of the question, how can Starbucks increase their net income while maintaining the same level of customer loyalty?
So like Evan said, they've lost nearly $1 billion because of rises in minimum wage pricing and payment for their employees. However, I think that it's really important to remember their mission when trying to come up with solutions to this issue of wanting to raise revenue. So when trying to stick to the mission, I think it's important to create an honest plan when it comes to approaching a revenue increase. Customer trust in the company to provide them good coffee at a fair price, and also to provide this nurturing in-store environment is really important. And so to raise the price on the product or to lower the payment for their suppliers would most likely break trust with customers, and it would not be consistent with Starbucks' mission. So the best thing for Starbucks to do is to assess the company in terms of waste and to conduct a lean approach to operations. And if they're able to do that, operations will be more efficient and the product system, and they can save more money without betraying their mission or their core values.
Higher minimum wages is something that is becoming increasingly common, especially in affluent urban areas. And payroll is one of the largest expenses of a primarily service-based industry like Starbucks, so it's definitely a challenge that they're facing. The most common solutions include laying off staff, raising prices, or finding ways to cut costs. Starbucks really focuses on delivering high-quality, unique drinks that are already up there in price. So it probably wouldn't be the best idea for them to continue raising the price of their product. Lowering the quality would also be questionable as well, given that Starbucks has such a strong cult following. Starbucks is known for its exceptional leadership and its great benefits for employees, and really just treating them with a lot of dignity and respect. Starbucks' extensive benefits that draw in such quality work may be the place where the wage issue could be addressed. If they want to continue to offer things like free hot coffee, healthcare, and education, they may need to keep their staff a bit smaller. By streamlining their drink making process to make it more efficient and having minimal staff working at once, Starbucks can cut down on some of those costs. And it may also be beneficial for Starbucks to restrict more of its benefits to just their full-time employees. It's critical for Starbucks to maintain their competitive edge when it comes to facing other coffee shops in times of increasing wages. The product cannot be compromised, but there's always room to grow in efficiency at every layer of the supply chain.
Another solution that we have to the problem of the increasing price of products is we believe as a group that two options could be to increase the perceived market value through altruism, and also to increase the perceived market value of their product by informing customers through advertising. A survey showed that 71% of customers are willing to pay more for the product if a company supports a cause. If Starbucks begins to show that they are giving back, show they're working towards sustainable efforts and other selfless causes, customers may be more willing to pay more for the same product. In addition, Starbucks only currently spends about 1.5% of their annual revenues on marketing. This is about 10% less than the industry average. So Starbucks could possibly increase their marketing spending, trying to inform the customers as to why the prices are increasing, and then maybe customers would understand where Starbucks is coming from, and in turn be willing to pay for the increasing price of products. And that is all that we have. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and thanks for a great class, Dr. Lee.